I don't think I did that very well in the beginning because I was uncertain how to process it. Because you guys give a lot of love. You do, and it's phenomenal, and it's inspiring, and it's humbling, and it motivates us to do what we do today. And I wish that I had allowed that fuel to be a part of my life earlier in my life. But now know that it is a great deal of what fuels me. So that's what I would say.
Bob as well, but I'm going to go back in line.
Oh, that's very sweet. Okay, all right. Hi there.
Hello. Well, the question was for Jensen, but maybe someone wants to answer it. Dean was portrayed in different forms. I mean, a demon and future Dean. But if Dean was an angel, what would he do in a supernatural world?
I can't imagine any scenario in which he would be an angel. We've known each other now for the better part of 10 years. I have never seen an angelic moment. Were he to become an angel, I think the first thing he would say was, "Get these goddamn wings off of me. I don't like this."
It's because I'm such an angel in real life.
You know what they say, the villain is the hero of his own story, so.
Thank you.
I have a question for Bob. Bob, how did you come to be involved in the production of Supernatural in the first place? Like, how did you come to? Oh, I'm sorry. They're here to arrest me.
Finally, guys, over here.
What was that process?
Is anyone interested in that story at all?
Yes.
Eric Kripke wrote and produced the pilot of Supernatural. Eric is, well, he's not so young anymore, but was very young when the show started. It was a wonderful pilot. The show got picked up. They felt that Eric needed a sort of older, more experienced guiding hand to help him mount the series. I think if you would have asked Eric at the beginning before we got together, he probably would have said, "I don't need any old fart telling me what to do," but be that as it may, I looked at the pilot. Eric and I got together. I liked the pilot very much, and after a number of meetings with Eric, we decided to give it a go and to try to be partners in producing the thing. And I've said this before, for the 5 years that Eric was on the show, I think it was probably a rewarding experience, a creative experience as I've had in a pretty long career. So I feel really fortunate that Eric made the pilot and that Eric invited me to come on this journey with him, even though he left the boat about 5 years ago. But, you know, so that's the way it happened. They do that sometime. Usually those marriages don't work, but this one worked great, and it's been a great ride.
I have one more question. I'm sorry.
It's a two-parter? It's a two-parter.
Yeah, it's a two-part question. So you have worked on a lot of television shows over the years. Was there a point in the evolution of Supernatural when you realized that you were dealing with a show that had a unique relationship with its fan base that you hadn't seen before in your career? Was there a tipping point? Was there
I don't know if there was a tipping point, but really early on you got the sense from the letters we would get and the gifts that were either sent to the office in Los Angeles or sent to Vancouver, the production offices. People went to these amazing lengths, tapestries, chess sets that are carved of the characters of Supernatural. So, you know, I got a sense that we were really doing something that was much different than I had ever encountered. I don't think it was until I went to Comic-Con one year that I realized the extent. And then as I look out into this crowd, again, it's just sort of overwhelming. And as I said to a reporter who asked, I said, one thing about meeting the fans, and I think 52 countries are represented here, is that you guys are really a family, brought together by this TV show. And that's a remarkable thing, and I don't know how many TV shows can really say that. And you're all so nice and polite and seem to just love each other, and that's really unique. Except for you.
And also, what you guys don't see is I mean, you are experiencing this family that is in this room and that is the fandom. But you don't get to experience the family that is the show, and this crew. We just took our and I think somebody tweeted it or Facebooked it or whatever that stuff's called. But it was the 10. It was every crew member or cast member that had been a part of the show for 10 seasons, and it was a rather large group, and a lot of the people. I mean, that's all 10 seasons. A lot of the people have been on for 8 years, 9 years, 7 years, 6 years. That's a very, very long time to spend on any one project in the entertainment industry. And so there's a family that exists within the show as well as surrounding the show that is pretty amazing and inspiring and intense. And I consider these guys two of my closest friends, and because of that, and that is a rarity, and the fact that is also reflected in what we see with you guys is just as awesome in the true sense of the word.
One more addendum. It is a family, and when we've told Bob this, but when Bob comes up to direct an episode, which happens a few times every year, the whole crew is just so excited because it's like dad is coming home, and it's a dad that they love. It really is, and it's palpable on set. We're just everybody's happy to have you there.
Thank you. At this stage, I think it's more grandpa, but anyway, thank you.
All right. Question here.
Hello, my original question was for Jensen.
It's okay. Original questions out the window. Just ask the question. Either I'll answer it, he'll answer it, or we'll just move on.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Right, what do you think John would feel about his son receiving the mark of Cain? And do you think he would have hunted him?
Good question. I don't think John would have hunted him. I think John's first loyalty always, after Mom died, was to the boys. I think he would have done everything in his power, in the same way that Sam is trying, to help get rid of the mark and save his son. So I don't think he would have hunted him at all. No.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of saw that early on when John was very willing to sacrifice himself for his sons, and I think that he would have gone and done anything to save he would have sacrificed himself in whatever way, shape, or form to protect his children. And I think that's we talked earlier about what kind of father was John really, and I think that this taps into that a little bit in the fact that he would have sacrificed himself completely and wholeheartedly to save his sons. And so yes, it wasn't the perfect father-son relationship. It wasn't the perfect childhood for these two guys, but there was a father that protected them and that loved them and that taught them how to survive. And I think that's that was some of his greatest assets as a father. So thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi. So throughout the season, we got to see many different sides of Dean. We see him going from bad because of Mark of Cain affecting him, and then he just regular nice Dean. So what is the process that goes into changing from regular Dean to Demon Dean, and is that change hard from the acting and directing perspective?
I'll answer a little bit of that. You know, I would say yes, anytime you alter the character, you know, considerably, you're taking on a challenge. Especially when that character is still within this new alteration. And so the fact that Demon Dean was not a demon that was possessing Dean, the fact that it was actually Dean and his soul had been twisted, so there needed to be a flavor of real Dean, plus but also this kind of this demon version of it, and that was tricky from an acting standpoint. And yeah, I would say it's difficult, but it's the challenge that, I mean, that's what we do. That's why they hired us in the beginning, is because that's the trade that we are craftsmen in, and I think that's you know, that's the challenge that we like to take on. So from a directing standpoint,
You know what strikes me just now? I was just reflecting on last year. I believe it was last year during a panel together. You and I think we were dry humping the chairs and doing a disco dance-off, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know what he's talking about.
I'm noticing that the tenor changes a little bit around Bob. We're answering the question seriously. Talking about the craft, which it's a refreshing reprieve from our normal antics. I like it.
He's not lying.
Well, I appreciate that, guys. From a producing, directing point of view, I'm just doing a signal here. From a producing, directing point of view, this is what we feel. And we did this with Misha. I can't remember what year, but we did an episode that went into the future. And Misha basically became Timothy Leary. I don't know if you guys remember who that was, but we don't feel that we can stretch these guys enough. There's nothing that we can write in a character. By the way, Eugenie, stand up, please. This is Eugenie Ross-Lemming, one of our co-executive producers. And
one of our brilliant writers. Also the better half to this one.